And this brings me directly to Leo season. Because when astrologer speaks about Leo, people often reduce it to visibility, confidence, performance, being seen, creativity, the stage. But I think that is just superficial layer. Leo is fundamentally about life force, the heart, the part of you that creates because something inside you wants to exist before the audience, before any applause or algorithm or how many likes. Before anyone will tell you if what you have created has value, a child understands Leo very naturally. This is why I speak about the inner child. A child draws because he wants to draw. He runs because the body wants to move, sings, even badly, doesn't care. A child builds something completely useless and is fascinated by it. He becomes obsessed with insect, a stone. There is no business plan. There is no personal brand. Simply life expressing itself. What earns money, what our parents approve, what receives attention, what looks successful, what brings applauses. And eventually, even our creativity can become another form of obedience. So we ask, will people like this? Will the algorithm push it? Can I monetize it? Is this good for my career? Suddenly, even Leo has become industrialized. Crazy. Even the heart become content. This is why I found this eclipse of this August 2026 so interesting, because we have this enormous Leo, but also the South Node moving through Leo. And the South Node doesn't just say more Leo. No, the opposite. It asks us to look at the pattern of Leo that have already become exhausted. The performance, the ego structure, the need to be recognized, addiction to applause, to many likes, to identity built around being special, the desperation to remain visible. How many saw me? Checking your account. And perhaps this eclipse is asking us something very sophisticated. What remains when nobody is waiting? Do you still create? Do you still train? Do you still cook well? Do you still take care of your environment? Dress beautifully? Still study? Still build? Love? Do you still have standards? Or maybe the entire thing is just to be dependent that somebody seeing you doing it. This question is so important in this age that we are entering, because AI is going to make performance incredibly cheap. Anyone can manufacture an image, content, to manufacture very beautiful voice, beautiful photograph, beautiful presentation, all the things that were Leo. And when representation becomes almost unlimited, authenticity becomes much more difficult to fake. Not because AI cannot imitate authenticity, it does very well. Is actually someone there? He really cares about me? Is there a substance under this? Under this image? There is a body that I can hug, that I can kiss. There is courage. Someone that lived the experience. And this is, I believe, what Leo becomes so important. Not as a celebrity or authorship, but the capacity to say, this is my life and I'm responsible for creating it. It sounds very simple, I know, because most people are living inside scripts they didn't write, where they should live, what profession they should choose, when they should marry, how much money means success, what kind of body they should accept, what they are allowed to desire, what political tribe they are supposed to join, what opinion is safe to express, when they should retire, even what they are supposed to do when they are finally have free time. And realize that you become extremely competent at living somebody else's idea of a correct life. This is where the heart becomes dangerous. Because the heart does not always want what is reasonable. Sometimes it wants you to move a country, to divorce, to start a new connection. Sometimes it wants you to quit this job, to start a new career, to learn something very different, unrelated to your current career. Because sometimes it asks you to live a relationship that looks perfect from outside, but it's not your happiness. You are attracted to the same sex of you. Sometimes it wants less money and more time. It's always a price. It wants more responsibility because you have been hiding inside of a comfort. The heart is not just about pleasure. Because following the heart does not mean following every impulse. I want this love, I want this excitement, all the time these crazy impulses. It does not mean becoming childish. It does not mean do whatever feels good. The mature Leo heart demands courage that says, if this is truly your life, then stand behind it. Pay the price for it. Stop expecting the society, people to validate the route before you walk it. This is what I mean when I speak about joy. Because joy is not permanent happiness. Joy is not smiling all day. Joy is sensation that your life belongs to you, even when it's difficult, even when you are struggling, even when nobody understands what you are building yet. And to be honest, this is a very different quality of suffering when you choose the mountain yourself. I know this personally. There were periods in my life when choosing my own route created very high uncertainty, specifically economic uncertainty, loneliness, the feeling that maybe I had made everything unnecessarily difficult. But there was something I couldn't return to. I couldn't convince myself that security was worth abandoning the feeling that my life was mine. And now, at 50, in this particular moment, I look at what is happening technologically, astrologically, and I found this almost ironic. The world is beginning to force people to question if the machine can suddenly do much more of what you were trained to do. So this is why I'm speaking about the heart, because it stopped being just a spiritual decoration. I believe my role, my mission, it becomes infrastructure. You need to know yourself. You need to know what gives you energy, what destroys your energy, what you create, what you know to create. You need to know what you actually need to become yourself. You need to know which parts of your identity belong to you and which were installed by your parents, by your teacher, and society. The future rewards people who can move without waiting for permission. This is sovereignty. And this is where Leo begins turning toward Aquarius. The mature individual is becoming sovereign so that he can sit alone on the throne. He becomes sovereign so that he finally has something real to bring to the network. You cannot become a very important, meaningful node if there is nobody home inside the node. First, recover the center, then connect.